Now, I know everyone, we all love candles, right? So, you're gonna love these paintings. I have an interesting variety. They're not all candles, but they're similar to candles. And I was surprised by what I found. And I know that starting very, very soon, I'm gonna see some of you doing uh, paintings by candlelight. I'm sure of that.
Oh,
I don't have any doubt. So let me move this bar down here and let's take a look at some of these because I did show this once to you guys a long time ago. It's a pretty unknown artist. Um, Joseph Wright, American painter from 1768. And the only thing I decided to put it in, but I cannot actually see the candle or the actual source of the light, but it appears to be behind that bowl of whatever the liquid is. And this is called an experiment on a bird in the air pump. So, this is the 1700s. So science was a little more rudimentary, let's say. But what they're trying to do is they're putting the bird in there and they're going to see how long he lives without any oxygen. Sounds horrible, but it's an incredible painting.
one thing interesting, Charles, is that that is the central light making the candle, I think. But notice the boy on the back who's letting in some moonlight, just a little.
Yeah, you can see a bit of it on his forehead.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, incredible composition too. But now I'm going to jump over back to El Greco back in Spain. It's just called an allegory, and I don't know what it's about, but it is illuminated by. I can't even tell what she's holding, but I assume it's some kind of little candle that she's transferring the light to. And then there's that weird kind of creepy monkey in it,
Hmm.
and so dark, even with the strong candlelight on the faces. It's just a really dark painting.
Mhm.
And I can't figure out that man. Like I think we see his teeth. Aren't they teeth?
Oh,
Yeah, it's he's got some creepy teeth.
It is, yeah. And Spanish painting is they often talk about how dark it was, and I'm not really sure why, but it does seem like there's something to that.
Ch
Um,
Charles, is that person, is she dipping a feather into something or not?
I don't know. I can't tell what she's doing. And it's called an allegory. And I didn't try to do any deeper reading on it. I don't know if there is any. But part of a painting like this could be intriguing because we don't really know just what's going on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then he puts that monkey in there on top of it all.
It's probably, as in Goya's case, one of a series of Spanish proverbs.
Oh, yeah, it says there is another part, fabula. I don't know what that means, that word fabula. But it's in the image list I emailed you. So yeah, I
A
should have.
fable.
It's what?
A fable.
A fable. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. But we still don't know what fable it is. But I wish Esther was here tonight. She's in our Wednesday night class. She's from Spain. So Andrea, let's ask her about it tomorrow night. She might know.
Yeah, I looked up the word allegory
Oh
just
yeah.
because, and it says a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one.
Okay. All right.
So there's definitely some meaning behind it that would be intriguing, if it is some Spanish fable or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna talk to Esther tomorrow. Um, okay, so now I'm gonna show you a few now by probably the most famous known painter of painting by candlelight is Georges de la Tour. These are from the 1600s. And this one is at the Frick. So when you go to New York to the Frick and say hi to my daughter, you'll get to see this painting. And this is I just think he's just an incredible painter. And just the feeling that he gets out of this candlelight and how they did it, how they set up, I don't know. But they're just so beautiful. Here's another one. Same artist, the Repentant Magdalene.
Oh.
So they are religious painters. This is in the National Gallery in Washington.
Does she have her hand like on a skull or something? What is that?
Yeah, it's a skull. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting.
yeah. And the candles on the other side of the skull illuminating.
Yeah.
You know, just think about, as an artist, he's coming up with this clever, not just clever, but just a very insightful idea about how to compose the painting. I mean, it's not typical. If we're going to try this, typically the candle would be front and center, you know, but he's smart enough and thinking creatively enough to put it behind the skull, to silhouette the skull.
Is that a mirror, do you think, on the far left?
I think it's a mirror, yeah.
Huh. Very interesting.
Another thing I find interesting about that is while we do look at the face and the light up there, they still have the bottom of the picture. They have, I guess, the bottom of her dress and maybe a rug in front of a dresser, but there's still light down there too.
Yeah, the light gets down there and the shape balances the composition. But it's also interesting that he puts the strongest contrast of light and dark right on her sleeve and the hand that is silhouetted by that light.
Hmm.
And it's just a little bit unorthodox, not radically unorthodox, but we don't always have to like draw great attention to what we think the subject of the painting is, right? We can set up a foil in a way. And one more by De La Tour, and this one is called, I got the wrong title in here, or I did not get the right title in, but it's a choir boy, and he's reading his music sheet by the candle light. Yeah, choir boy, 12 by 9 inches from 1645. Again, silhouetted. He puts the candle behind something. It's obvious that the boy's holding a candle, which is illuminating his face, but De La Tour blocks out most of the candle. Okay, so I did switch these around a little bit at the last minute, but I wanted to show you, of course, our own famous painting at the DIA.
Gentileschi.
The what?
Gentileschi.
Yeah, and what does this depict?
The beheading of, I can't remember who it is.
Holofernes.
Thank you. Yes.
Judith and the maidservant with the head of Holofernes.
I love how she has her hand up,
Mhm.
and that makes very interesting shadows on her.
It does, yeah. That's the candlelight. I don't think a candle throws that much light. And how they did this, you know, these artists were brilliant in thinking of ways to communicate their ideas. And I've tried painting by candlelight, and I know one of you at least is going to do it really soon. And I'm just curious to see who it will be. But it's not, you know, you light a candle in a dark room and you see the candle really well, but you don't see much else. So other lights must have been incorporated. So it is a great painting, and it's rather gruesome, but I wanted to show you this Rubens painting, Peter Paul Rubens. This is called Old Woman and Boy with Candle. So they both have a candle. And Rubens is he was a great painter, but he painted so many paintings that we just kind of, or I kind of take him for granted. And I haven't really looked seriously at Rubens in a long time. But he does this little painting by candlelight, and I came across a detail of it. I want you to really look at the detail of the hand. And just look at how he handled the brush with such assurance. Right, Emmanuel? Isn't that just amazing?
Yes, it's absolutely awesome. Yeah, Rubens is the master.
Yeah, it's just he didn't have to fuss around too much.
He did have the fingernails in, but then there are those delightful colors on the fingers.
Yeah, that red. Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you think the upper part is the original drawing where the hand would have been, and then he moved it?
oh yeah, I just saw that. Good point.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
It's a ghost image.
It's a ghost image, and what's it called? What's the word for that? Starts with a P. I think I've talked about it. Pentimento,
Yeah, that's right.
where they repent in Italian, where they change their mind and they move something. But especially over time, oil paint becomes more and more transparent. And you can kind of see through sometimes what they did before they changed their mind. So
Or perhaps it's a shadow. I'm not sure.
it's I think it's an earlier hand position which he changed. Okay, and this is a charming little painting. It's I won't even try to pronounce a German. It's a German name. It's in Ontario, the Art Gallery of Ontario. Boy holding a torch from 1692. And it's just, I don't think most of us would want our little kids holding a great big candle like that in that way, but
Especially not close to their hair.
I know. But it's incredible. Look at that gold braid belt that he's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
remarkable. Okay, here's one. It's just a very simple painting called A Girl, a Dutch painter from the 1800s. And you don't see the source of light, but it's clearly a candle or something underneath her, letting the light up. And isn't this such a simple painting, but it's so delightful, isn't it? And what does he do as you study it? What does he do with the composition there, the background that's a little bit different?
He's got an arch.
Yeah, an arc.
Oh, arc, sorry.
We don't know if it was actually a doorway or sometimes they would frame the paintings that way. But it just works. It just seems to work so well. And this is a still life, a straight on still life by the Dutch painter Peter Claes, I think it is. And I don't know, just incredible, isn't it? The candle's one thing, but that glass, that goblet.
Wow.
Stunning.
Now, how many candles do you think he had to burn through before he finished? Because this one's getting pretty low. And look at where he sneaks in his signature. Did you just notice that?
Oh, in the book.
Yeah, on the page side.
He didn't paint it in like 10 minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, such a I don't know. I hope I get to see you guys do more still life painting, because that's where you can really study the light. You can get the thing in front of you, and just really look at what the light does. And we have that shadow box that I made, or you can make your own. And I learned, I did a lot of still life painting, and it just allows you to really observe.
May I draw your attention to the sophistication of the elements within the painting? The glassware, for instance, that would have been an expensive piece of glassware. There's quite a technique involved to make that glass. And what do you think the scissors are? That should have been one of those incense burner things.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I was wondering about that.
I thought it was a candle snuffer to put the
That's what
candle
I
out.
thought. Yeah, I just,
Could be
I
that
wasn't
too.
sure, because
You would just do this.
it's a what?
My daughter just licked her fingers and blew the candle off.
Somebody better blow it out because it's getting pretty low. Okay, all right, you know who this painter is. It's Dutch painter. There's a great one at the DIA. Who is it? I keep trying to bring your attention to him because we have a great one. It's a Hammershoy, right? It doesn't seem like a Dutch name, but it is. Wilhelm Hammershoy from the 1800s, and it's an interior with 2 candles. And it just had that Netherlandish feel of composition, very architectural, flat. And I love Hammershoy.
There's certainly not a lot of furniture or decorations in that room.
Yeah, very spare. Everything's very spare.
I was gonna guess Wyeth, one of the Wyeths, maybe.
No, that's right. There is definitely has that. Huh.
I thought the edge work around the top of the curtains and then the side that kind of disappears. I think that's kind of interesting. Not really. I mean, like there's like a total lack of any shadow behind there, like there is at the door.
Behind the curtain?
Yeah, like right at the top, you know, where you would, I don't know, maybe.
Oh
it's-
yeah, he does kind of dissolve things up there, does
Yeah.
And a lot of the shadows, like the table shadow on the floor, you would think it would have a harder edge than that, but compared to the window, but yeah, he just played around with that. That's a good point.
Perhaps with candles, they don't make as many sharp edges. I don't know. I better pay attention.
Well, yeah, I'm really curious. Tonight I'll have to find a candle around here. Okay, so I hope you study Hammershoy. I really enjoy it. We got one in the museum. Now, I love this painting, and unfortunately, it's 100% anonymous. I don't know anything about it,
Oh.
but isn't it cool?
Fabulous.
And it's no candle, but it is illuminated by that lamp. So I included it. She's in a train car, obviously, and I love watching movies from that period where taking a train was like a big deal. You know, they treated you like royalty on the train. And it captures that. Comfortable seating, spacious, curtains.
And look at the background scenery out the window. I mean, I thought that was a picture at first.
Yeah, it's a view out the train window. I
Very
think.
well.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a train. It doesn't even have a title or anything, but that's what it looks like. It has a little bit of a Hopper feel, and it's just,
Mhm.
I don't know. But look at how he puts the door on the left of the foreground. Again, a device to get us to look past something in the foreground into a more intimate scene beyond.
And look at how sharp that handle is. Sharp edges, everything in focus. And then at the back, it sort of fades a little.
You mean the lamp?
No, I mean the door handle.
Oh, the handle. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really nice little painting. It's signed, but I can't read it. Okay, so let's look at a similar feeling painting, and this is the woman's name is Joyce Zhang. Music Under Candlelight. And it's a little bit amateurish, but I just thought it captured something of apparently there's a candle in that thing up there. I don't have a date on this, but very charming little painting.
Well, this is the second painting you've had with music and candlelight. Makes me really glad that we have overhead lights at church so I can clearly see the notes.
Oh, Um, and this is a weird painting. I just wanted to put it in there. It's called Focusing on Light. The angels with the candle, and I don't know what to say about it. It's just kind of a cool painting.
It is. I wonder what is on the ground beneath the candle.
Yeah, there's something laying on the ground back there.
Yeah. I feel like this is an allegory too.
Yeah, it's rather unusual. And this looks like a pre-Raphaelite, but I don't know. I don't have a. It's 1885, so I guess it's a pre-Raphaelite painting by Evelyn de Morgan. Hero holding the beaking for Leander. I have no idea what any of that means, but I didn't just choose candles. It's also torches in some cases. And she's holding the torch, the beacon, but it doesn't really seem to be illuminating her, does it?
Mm-mm.
So she's waiting for someone to arrive in a boat, apparently, and holding the torch up so they can see it.
I
Nice
don't know. I don't know the story, so I don't know if the torch is up so he comes and lands in the right spot, or if the coastline is treacherous and she's warning him to not get dashed on the rocks.
Yeah, right. Good grasp of the figure, though, this painter.
Yeah.
Okay, this is I want to show you just some depictions of candles themselves. I don't know anything about this artist. It's an etching, a colored etching, 9 by 8 inches. I don't love it, but it's still kind of interesting. Rendering of a candle. And then there's this one called Candles by a name I can't pronounce. I think I don't know what it is, but from 2007, small painting. Anyone could do this. I mean, setting up a whole room, a composition in a room with figures and furniture by candlelight is a task. It's a big undertaking, but I want you to do it. I know one of you will really soon. But before the rest of you, if you want to start with something simple, just light a candle and having it reflecting in a mirror. It's a great way to study candlelight. It does capture the melting feeling of the wax, I believe. Now here it is, Patrick, the famous one and only Gerhard Richter. Is Patrick still here? I don't think anybody.
Yes, I'm here.
I guess I'm leaving you speechless, everybody. I'm almost done. There's just a few more, but I wanted to get a Richter in here. And Patrick, do you have any thoughts about Richter?
Oh my God, he's he's a Renaissance man, right? He's like Leonardo. He's everywhere. You know, he goes everywhere. He's so interested in everything, and he's pretty fearless, and he explores everything. I have many books on him, and I've read, but it's been a while since I've dived into him. But he's just I think he's still alive and working.
I think he is.
He's older now, but amazing artist. I mean, he's gone in so many different. He's so interested in the pictorial surface and what it can do, what paint can do to take it to its limits.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that was a great description of his work. And I want everyone, if you don't know who Gerhard Richter is, I want my students to know these major living painters. He's a German painter. And his other painting, like Patrick was saying, his other paintings don't look anything like this. But this is an oil painting on canvas. But he did a lot of these candle paintings. This is only 10 by 8 inches. He's making big money. If you're interested in, I know sometimes people love to hear that, or I don't like to hear it because you know, he's one of those artists that he could do whatever he wants, and people will buy it now because he's so famous. Gerhard Richter. Does any? Let me hear from the rest of you. Who hates the painting or think it's just nothing or what?
I especially appreciate the orange around the flames and the way the candles, they're not just one color of paint. They really show how a candle is.
Yeah,
And I like the soft edge on the wall behind him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the fire is so well done, and the contrast against the white candle
Mhm.
is great because you can tell that's not just, the flame is not just white. I mean, there's that element that really illuminates, and there's without any doubt that is fire, but getting that illumination is phenomenal.
Yeah, that describes it well because I've tried painting candles and painting the flame in particular.
Yeah.
And it's you think it's easy and it's not because there's a lot that you have to think about to get it to feel the way these do. And you'll find out when you do this soon. Everyone's got a candle. And all you have to do is stand it up and light it and make a little study of it. Not because you're going to be another Gerhard Richter, but because you're going to learn a lot about paint, color, and light. Like Patrick said, a lot of what he did was just pushing exploring what paint can do.
And if you're interested, there's a couple of these candle paintings at the Art Institute in Chicago.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't know if I've ever actually seen one, but he did a lot of these, and they're small.
Yep.
Okay, Gerhard Richter, and now these I've got some really cool little paintings here. I'm gonna get through, and we'll be done. But this one's called "Fishing by Torchlight" from 1835. American painter Paul Kane. So America is being, explored by Europeans at this time, and the Native Americans were still out there doing their traditional thing. And they went around in their canoes at night with these great big bonfires on them and speared fish.
I wonder if the fish are attracted to the light, or if the light is so they can see the fish that are under the water, or maybe a little of both.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I have to assume that they really did this, or something like it. That he went through all this trouble to paint this, but it's just such an incredible thing to take on.
And to some extent, this would have had to have been a test in an artist's memory, because something like this, I mean, this is an action, painting. I mean, that's awesome.
That's another thing. Like, how did they do this before cameras?
Right.
But even if you've ever tried to take a good night picture, it's not an easy thing to do. You have to really be a photographer. But they didn't even have that, and how he did it at night and got all this, but an awful lot of it would have been memory.
And
now, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and he probably painted this by candlelight, unless he painted it all during the day.
Campfire.
Well, they would. Yeah, they wouldn't have gone out during the daytime with those big fires on their boats. This must have been a nighttime thing. And I don't know. I just can't imagine. But they had to be inventive back then, and it amazes me what they did. Oh, I just noticed the other smaller boat. He's got a fish on the end of the spear, And I also just noticed on the far left there is a classic teepee.
Mhm.
I didn't notice that. So
I'm
they,
See the
wondering if they
reflection of
have,
the teepee in the water.
yeah, the reflection of it, yeah.
I'm wondering if they have like a fishing camp and maybe they fish by these bonfires for several nights in a row. Because as an artist, I just couldn't take all this in
Mm.
Yeah.
to get a painting out of it.
Yeah, the canoe, the detail on the canoe, he must have studied it during the daytime. So it's an incredible painting, and here's another one that is said to be by Albert Bierstadt, the what were they called? The American paint.
Well, Bierstadt, I thought usually did great giant panoramic scenes.
He did. And I don't know the name of this, but he did go out west and paint too, Bierstadt and the other they were called something, I can't think of it. But it's called Oregon Trail.
Mm.
So isn't this amazing?
I love that there's two light sources, one
Yeah.
from the campfire, one from the moonlight.
Yeah.
And there's little glimpses of light in the water, but not too much.
Yeah, not too much, yeah.
And even on the belly of the horse, there's light
Mhm.
from the fire.
Yeah, so it's carefully studied, and this couldn't have been too big because his signature is so big. But it's just a delightful painting, and it confirms things like we'll often hear now, we'll read that, well, they didn't really go around in covered wagons and the Indians didn't have canoes. Well, this was they did. Here's one painted at the time, again, before photography. So you know, many of us may have watched Western movies when growing up back then, and they were always going around in these wagons. And okay, and this is what I just found really intriguing. It's called Spearing by Torchlight on the Amazon.
Oh my.
So they're out down on the Amazon now at night, spearing fish. It's just incredible. And he's got a fire on his boat, doesn't he?
Mhm.
Just notice that. Okay. And getting back into the normal world, kind of. This is Chagall, Three Candles.
Ah.
I like this one. Chagall's kind of people among my peers would give Chagall a hard time, but I do like this. Candles can be very symbolic, obviously,
Mhm.
many ways. And this is a great one by Max Beckman. And he actually taught at the University of Iowa way back before I got there, but we had some of his paintings in our museum. And then he went down to Wash U in St. Louis and taught there. And I love Beckman. What do you think, Patrick? Beckman?
Oh yeah, so strong, right?
Yeah.
You know, just very graphic almost
Yeah.
painting style. So German. I never realized he came to the States.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure did.
Was he did he flee Germany at the
That's a
time?
good question. Now I'm going to have to read about it. I don't remember hearing anything about why he was here, but and you know, Iowa has a great program, but Washington University in St. Louis has always had a very premier painting program. Okay. And this is my favorite one. You ready for this? The last painting. I don't know anything about it. It's like an illustration on a card, maybe, but I love it. Just feel of the 50s and
Looks like the 1930s.
30s. Yeah. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
Very simple in some ways, but not really when you think of all the work to make it happen.
Oh yeah, well, and awareness. If you study, I don't know if this is cropped. I see a signature down there, but I don't know. It could be cropped. But even with what we have, just the artist's awareness of the way that the triangular shapes are working across the bottom, then we come up and find a similar repetition of shape, and there's an awareness throughout the painting. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's also close to my birthday, so that's perfect. Cake with candles.
I get why you like it, Charles.
Why do I like it?
I said I get why you do. I think
Yeah, well,
I would almost guess it could have been almost one of yours, except for the time period. It's
Yeah.
built a lot like you build your paintings. It seems to
that's
me.
a good way to point it out. Building a painting up from, again, just temporarily don't think about subject matter and think about how you're constructing it
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
the magic that you discover when you can think that way.
yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking of my British portraiture class, Charles. They would be horrified that there's no objects that relate to the character in the middle. You
Oh,
know,
well,
because they usually people do want some beloved picture on the wall or something. But I like it
Well-
for the simplicity.
yeah, and it's not that, someone's 3 years old, right?
Or it could be past, present, and future. Maybe that.
Yeah, but there's a suggestion of a narrative, isn't there?
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
birthday party for a little kid who's 3 years old. Isabel, how old are you?
I'm turning 9.
Turning 9. Okay, well,
This week.
this week.
Wh-
Oh,
Yeah,
happy birthday.
When is her birthday?
November 12th, and it was the year 2015.
November 12th. Happy birthday.
Make sure your parents get 9 candles on your cake, not just 3.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
Hey,
Good job.